All right, it is my great privilege to be able to introduce the moderator, and this is Angelina Jumper, and she's another amazing woman in our community. She is very active with the work of our Earth Keepers. She chairs the Junaluska Museum, and one of the most important things that I think she does, before people can come here and take the knowledge of our culture, you have to go through this lady. So it's called the Cherokee
Cultural Institutional Review.
Okay, we just refer to it as CIRB.
Hey, Carmelita. So today we have the honor of welcoming 4 distinguished leaders of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians who have marked a historic moment in our tribal governance. For the first time in 65 years, our last tribal council consisted of all men. Together, they represent the largest number of women serving simultaneously on tribal council since the 1990s. They bring diverse experiences, perspectives, and shared commitment to serving our communities. As a young Cherokee woman, I'm especially honored to introduce them today. Seeing Cherokee women serve in these roles gives me hope and reminds me of the possibilities that we have for future generations. Their service is a powerful example of leadership, dedication, and commitment to our people. Their service reflects not only a significant milestone in contemporary tribal leadership, but also enduring strength, resilience, and contributions of Cherokee women who have long played vital roles in guiding and sustaining our people. We are grateful for their willingness to share their experiences, insights, and visions for the future of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. It is my privilege to introduce these remarkable women, and I look forward to the conversation and wisdom they will share with us today. Please join me again in welcoming Council Representatives Shennelle Feather, Shannon Swimmer, Venita Wolfe.
Oh my goodness.
I am so sorry, Venita. Venita Wolfe and Lavita Hill. So I have a series of questions today that I'm going to be asking our tribal council members, and then I believe that it will be open up to the floor for questions going forward. So my first question today, and I think we can maybe start with Shennelle down there. So what life experience best prepared you for the role that you have now in tribal government?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Move it up a little bit. There. Is that better? Shennelle. Good morning, everybody. And I'm so happy to be here. And it's so good to see everybody here. And I'm actually want to just say that I'm very humbled and thankful to be up here with these fine women, and just being able to work with them every single day is an amazing experience that I get to experience. And so the question is, what has prepared me for this role? I would say everything, honestly. I am the youngest on the women's side, and I grew up here, born and raised here, and played basketball here. Went to school, got my degree, played college basketball, and I think that was one of the things that really shaped my leadership. And then I moved away. And moving away was a huge life-altering experience because I moved to Chicago. And being 12 hours away from home really taught me how to be, it really grew my identity. I say that I grew up here, but I really developed who I am as an adult in Chicago. And having to do things on my own without my tribal community and my family, navigating that world, I think has really shaped a resiliency that I was able to kind of develop and hone there, and to be able to come home and provide some of that knowledge that was gained through those experiences. I was a basketball coach. I was a manager at a restaurant that was in the Chicagoland area, and I would say all of those things kind of shaped my leadership style. And the biggest thing was just being able to relate to people. I think serving breakfast for 10 years and managing a breakfast restaurant to complete strangers, you really have to get them to feel like you care for them for that hour or so, 45 minutes or so. And serving, that customer service, but also the service part, I think was the biggest lesson that I was able to really bring back. And yeah, I think all of those experiences kind of have brought me to this point in my life, and then I'm learning every single day as well in this role. So I contribute that to these women and a lot of women in my family, and who have crossed paths with even to this point. So yeah, I don't want to be too long-winded.
Shennelle. Shannon, what life experiences have best prepared you for the role that you have now in tribal government?
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold it up too. Okay. So, thank you for having us here, and thank you for the question. And I think the life experience that best prepared me for this role would be motherhood. It's a role that a lot of times you have to make decisions that aren't very popular. You have to sometimes take that criticism and just keep moving and keep doing what's right. And that's one of the things that I think is very important in a role like this, where you're making decisions that aren't always going to be the most popular, but that would benefit the most people, and always doing what's right. So teaching my kids that, and then having them still looking to me for that, makes it easier to make those hard decisions in this role. And then also before this, I was on our tribal court, and so that's another position where you're not very popular, and is also traditionally men that are there. When I was on the trial court level, I was the first female enrolled member that was serving on the trial court level as a judge for our tribe. And even going to conferences and going other places, it was all men. And the legal field is mostly male anyway. And so coming into a role in government where the same is true, it's mostly men, but really asserting your self and being confident in yourself and knowing that you deserve to be there just as much as they do, and really not backing down from things that you really believe in. That was an exercise that I think helped me and prepared for this position.
There we go. I think this might work a little better. Venita, so what do you think your life experience that you've experienced that's best prepared you for this role?
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. Now can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So first of all, I want to let you all know that Lavita and I sit together like this, so we're constantly getting interchanged. So that's not new. It has been happening since we've been in office. But I think that being raised by a strong mother and by strong grandmothers and strong women in my family has really helped me in this role, because
it's not easy to be in a position where you have to decide on things that don't benefit you personally or your community, but benefit everybody. And so having strong role models in my women that were around me and the way I was raised has helped me be strong in myself. Sometimes I doubt what I'm doing, and I think maybe I shouldn't be here because I feel like because of the experience that other people have around me that I'm not that experienced. But then I think about what my mom told me and what my family's told me and the experience that I've actually had, not here on the boundary, but off boundary too. I had a lot of strong mentors when I was in school, getting my degrees. And so I really rely on all of that wisdom to help me shore up the fact that I belong here, that I am making a difference here, and that what I have to say does matter. And it might not always be agreed with, but it's my thoughts and my opinions. And when I feel like I'm correct, I'm gonna stay in my position. So this is a learning experience. I grew up I actually was involved in the university system for 22 years in research, dealing with different type of communities, people, learning how to communicate in a very effective manner with empathy and compassion, with understanding. And I think that really comes into play here because we have a lot of community interactions, people calling and texting and asking questions, but also sharing their concerns, sharing their frustrations, sharing their anger with you because of what's going on or what they feel like we haven't addressed or are addressing not fast enough. So having those experiences helps me with my communication and my connection with people. Connecting with our people is very important, especially in this role, because we are making decisions that are affecting everyone, not just one or two. So I feel like my life experience has prepared me to be in this role as a person of change, as an agent of change, listening, taking what wisdom you all and everyone else around me has and helping translate that into law, into decisions that will benefit us in forever. So I think that I wasn't prepared to say. Everyone asked me, how do you like it? How do you like it? And that's a hard question to answer because some days I don't like it. Most days I love it because I'm using my brain. I'm using my thoughts and I'm actually creating change that will benefit people. So, yeah.
Okay, Venita.
So yeah.
Lavita, what life experiences have best prepared you for the role that you now have in tribal government?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lavita Hill, and I first want to apologize because I will be on my phone for the duration of this. My son and future daughter-in-law are having their first child, and it's been over 36 hours. I've been so stressed out, but I'm so looking forward to this. I'm excited, but I have to know like what's happening. But the experiences that have helped me prepare for this role, they're very varied. So first of all, I love my community. I've never lived outside of the community except for whenever I was in college and I lived at the university, which was only 30 miles down the road. So I've always been here, I've always wanted to be here, and I've always wanted to serve here. Like Shannon, I agree that motherhood is one of the main things that prepare you for virtually anything, including leadership. But along those lines, it's like, how do we care for our people? How do we make laws that impact them in a positive way? But more importantly, as a woman, how do I help change the laws that men just don't have the same perception or idea on? that comes to my next area, which is trauma. I've endured a lot of trauma throughout my life. I lost my mom when I was 5 years old in a car accident, or she was in a car accident, and that was the start of it. And from there, it's been like a whole series of different events of trauma. And what that has helped me do, though, is number one, become a stronger person, but number two, have so much love and compassion and empathy for the people that have suffered similar circumstances. It's very easy to sometimes judge people, but then you have to get to know them and know where they're from to really understand them and then try to help them. And I feel like I relate to women on so many different levels, and that's humbling. It's been hurtful, but now I think that it gets to be helpful. And lastly, I am an activist for our people. One of my first things that I got to do was fight for a non-smoking casino for the employees. My son actually worked here as a table games dealer, and it was COVID, and they went non-smoking. Well, after that, they wanted to bring smoking back. And my son was like, they literally blow the smoke in your face. It's just an unfair circumstance to put yourself in. And I thought, I don't smoke around my kids. I don't smoke anyway, but why does someone else get to blow smoke in their face? Like, that's disgusting to me. And so we advocated, we reached out to other non-smoking rights activists, and they came here and they helped us, and we went to tribal court, and we had that put into law that all tribal buildings are non-smoking. So that's how the casino became non-smoking today, and we're very grateful for that. And then secondly, I did work alongside Missy Crow, to restore Kolanvyi to our mountain in the national park. And through that work, it was going to city governments, county commissions, community clubs, everywhere, just to gather support. And so now I feel like I get to do that same work for our people, like in Raleigh or in DC, and that eventually that's gonna lead to something very impactful. So, thank you.
Lavita, thank you all for sharing your diverse life experiences. Like I had mentioned earlier, I think each one of these women brings so many different pieces of knowledge and experience and truly passion for each one of their roles and each member of their community who has a different need. So my next question is, what do you wish someone had told you to prepare you for your current leadership position? Yeah, we can start with Shennelle, sorry. Or do you want to start with Shannon? Yeah, we can start with Shannon.
Okay. All right. What I wish someone had told me to prepare me for my current leadership role. It's really hard to. I guess it would have to be compromise. That you are going to have to compromise. Not necessarily compromising on what, like Venita was saying, if you really believe in something, or what I was talking about earlier, if something is right, not compromising on those things, but having to figure out how to work with 11 other people in order to come up with the best decision for that benefits the most people within our tribe and not just the few. And having to really figure out what makes everyone else tick, pretty much. Like what is something that you can say to someone that they're going to relate to, and hopefully see things from your perspective or to understand your perspective. So that compromising, which is, to me, it's beyond teamwork. It's really having to pick your battles, and that's all, like Venita, something that has been difficult for me to do, because you want to fight all of the battles, but in a job like this, if you did that, you would, number one, probably not get a lot accomplished, but number two, you would just be exhausted and you would probably feel defeated a lot of the time and just discouraged. So having the ability to compromise, to be okay with it, and we set a 2-minute timer, so that's so that's my time. But thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. We want to go with Venita next.
So, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Now? Okay. So I think I was talking about this earlier with Hope, and I wish that I wish I would have known how hard this job was going to be. I wish I would have known how much time and effort it's going to take to, and time away from our families to do this job. Because it's not a 9 to 5 or 7:45 to 4:30. It's not a 40-hour work week like everyone else's job is. It's a job that takes over your life, basically, if you would let it. I wish I knew that the code that our code of law is very complex and it needs to be updated, and that work itself is another job to do. So I really feel like if we were more upfront about what tribal council does, then people in our community and around us will understand that we're not here for ourselves. In fact, we take away from our own lives. We're not here to benefit for one family or myself. I'm here because I want to serve our community and I want to serve our people, and I want to make their lives better than it was 10 years ago, you know. So I think that just being more upfront about what this job actually entails. It's not just meeting once or twice on camera and having discussions. I thought it was when I first started watching, and I learned really quickly that it's not. That it's a lot more, and it takes a lot more effort, and you really have to have the heart to do this. You really have to have the patience. And if someone had told me what a day in tribal council was, I would have been amazed, because it's not just sitting in one room with one person. It's sitting constantly, meetings, trying to make right decisions, and our lives are no longer ours. Our lives are in service to our people. Thank you.
You, Venita. Lavita, what do you wish someone had told you to prepare you for your current leadership position?
So, I agree 100% with Shannon's take on this, because we want to go in and change the whole tribe. We want to just feel like we're doing everything right. And the thing is, though, what I've had to learn is passion doesn't always equate to understanding everything. Like, and believe it or not, I don't know it all. You know, like, I have to remind myself of these things. Like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn from these women. I'm here to learn from you all, from our communities. And so going in, it was like, I'm ready for this. Like, I'm prepared. I've worked hard. But the truth was, I wasn't ready for any of it, because it was a totally brand new experience. And you really do get thrown into the fire, but you work hard and you do love it. Like, it is hard. It's time consuming. It is sometimes draining, but you can't wait to get up the next day and do it again. So I appreciate all of that, and I just appreciate what I'm learning from other people. But coming into it, I didn't have all the answers. Like, you know, I thought it was just gonna be the best ever, and you know, I'm gonna fail sometimes. I'm going to make mistakes along the way, and sometimes I'm probably gonna get it totally wrong. But that's when I'm grateful for the support system that comes back to me and says, "We love you, but you need to understand something different." And I'm grateful that we can say that to one another. So, thank you.
You, Lavita, we are all human. That's right. Shennelle?
Check one. Okay. Everything. I wish, I wish someone had told me everything about this position. But you know, the cool thing about it is that I get to kind of define this role myself. There's no handbook, there's no orientation, there's nothing really. Like, you get sworn in and I mean, I don't even have an office. And it's just like, here you are, and here's the budget that was just approved, and here's all the keys to all the information in the world. And it's like, whoa, what do I do with all of this? And how do I navigate it? So I wish someone would tell me that. But I think, you know, yeah, this job is so unique. And it's, for what I'm recognizing in my 8th month, is that there's no way anybody can tell you how to do this job. And there's really no best advice that anybody can give you, because everybody does this job differently, and everybody represents their community and the people in a different way. Doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It just is. And I just continually kind of wake up and I'm just like, okay, what's gonna happen today? Who do I get to speak to today? What impact can I make today? And really, that's the only way that I can get through every situation, every day. And that's how I make sure that I try to look at it in the best possible way that I can, is to really think in that way and stay in that mindset. So I really just try to take it one day at a time. So I wish someone would have told me that. Just take it one day at a time.
Alright guys, sorry, I had to do a check-in with our panelists real quick. I hear that they have business committee to attend after this, so I just wanted to make sure I was giving them the time. So our next question is going to be one of my favorites, actually. What does it mean to you to be a leader in a traditionally matrilineal society? And we can start with you, Venita.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, all right. What it means to me is leading with all of our ancestors behind us, because it's amazing to be a woman in this position at this time. Primarily because this past council is all men, which Angelina said was something that hadn't happened in decades. So having all 4 new women come up and having 2 new women change over seats in our community, because Lavita and I are both from the same community, that was amazing to me, to see that the strength of a woman was needed. The strength that we bring, the ideas that we bring, the differences in our backgrounds that we bring was much needed for this council, for this time. Making these decisions and knowing that we come from strong families, we come from strong women. We have great women models all around us. And just last night, my husband basically told me, this is the strongest community of women he has ever seen. And I agreed with him. We are a strong community of women. And when we see women leaders like you all sitting in front of us, we know that we come from great stock. You all are my inspiration to be like. Miss Carmelita, I love you so much, and I aspire to be like you, because you lead from your heart and you don't stop leading ever. Every day you're leading us, and I love that. And so being here in a community where I can see this in front of me makes me proud to be in this position that I'm in.
Okay, Venita. Lavita, what does it mean to you to be a leader in a traditionally matrilineal society?
So to talk a little bit about what Venita said was, in the last term there were 12 men on our tribal council, and to me it was like a huge disappointment. Sorry, that's the best word for it in my opinion, because women should be at the table, because women raise their families, women look after for one another, women care just as much about your children as we do our own. So women should be here, and they had been here for centuries, and then this last term it was like, where are the women? So I'm grateful that these women decided to pick up the torch and take it to the next level, and we are so looking forward to when our entire government is female. That's the goal, you know? So whoever's interested in running, let's talk about that. Let's start preparing our next leaders right now in order to carry on our matrilineal society. It's beautiful. It is the best thing that could happen to this community, and I think that we're ready for it.
All right, Shennelle, I actually think that I might skip to question the next one. Oh, the women aren't there. Okay, whoop, sorry. Okay, that sounds good. So, Shennelle, I actually will keep the same question. So what does it mean to you to be a leader in a traditional matrilineal society?
So, hello. We can't hear ourselves, so that's why I keep saying hello. Can't hear you. So this question is like the best question ever. I grew up in ceremony in a traditional home. Traditional teachings. My mother is Dene, so my first clan is Twilachini. From my mother, my grandma is from Ganado, Arizona, and my father is from here, and he's Cherokee and Lakota, and his clan is Aniwodihi, which is the deer clan. So that's my second clan, and so I was raised. At 11 years old, I was a shell shaker, and at my stomp grounds, that's when you were given the right to shake shells, because that's when you were recognized. That's when I was recognized by the Creator as becoming a woman and being able to carry that responsibility. My great grandmother, Minnie Feather, she was a turtle rattle maker, and before she passed away when she was 83 years old. She was deemed the tribal turtle rattle maker, and what I've learned, used to make shell shakers for ceremony, and did that for many of our community women, and also the rattles that she would make were to sing ceremonial songs, and I was exposed to that at a very young age. So I would go to stomp dance. I would run around up there in Big Cove with Walker Calhoun and his whole family, and just be there in the mountains, and no TV and all of that, and listen to these songs at night, and hear these prayers. And I also grew up in Sweat Lodge, and my mom was taking us in there when we were little babies, at the Montalongo's house, at Nora Montalongo's house, who was probably a part of this organization, and just being in prayer and thinking about those things, and having the privilege of having a family that gave that to me, and understanding what the roles of clan women, clan mothers are, and what you're supposed to do as in a matrilineal society, has been very it made a big impact on my identity. I also participate in Sundance in South Dakota, and so all of those things have really helped me to navigate how I lead in a traditional way thinking in a mindset that's decolonized, and it's hard because we're in a colonial system. This government, this way, and how we are organized is not traditionally who we are and how we operated. And so the way that I think that it impacts how we sit around the horseshoe, because the way we sit is in a horseshoe. It's not a circle, which is, it makes it, when you think about that, it's square, and we're cyclical people. And why aren't we in a circle, or traditionally in a seven-sided formation we're supposed to be to represent our clans? So all of those things help shape us, the way we think and the way that we make decisions. And hopefully, my voice represents that one of a shell shaker, of a clan carrier, whether it's Cherokee or Lakota or Dene. Those teachings, I remember that Res Dogs scene whenever she was in the jail talking to her auntie, and her auntie just says, pray, you can call on them, they're always around you. And then it just pans to that everybody's behind her. I think about that often, and I carry that with me. I carry all those women, all my ancestral women who have passed on, and all their knowledge that's embedded in my mitochondrial DNA that runs my whole body, all of my cells. I'm a biology is in my degree. So I think about that often and call on that and ask for that guidance, that it's not just me, and that the community and the way that I make decisions isn't coming from me, that it's coming from somewhere else. It's coming from an ancestral place. It's coming from all the knowledge that in this room, in this community, and I'm able to act out with that knowing. And that's kind of what that means to me.
Very powerful, Shennelle. Shannon, what does it mean to you to be a leader in a traditional matrilineal society?
Thank you. So it means everything to me to be a leader in a matrilineal society, and to be a leader for our tribe. I never planned on doing this. I didn't have any aspirations of one day being on tribal council or being a tribal leader. I just knew that I wanted to help my community, however that looked. And growing up, I had some very strong female role models. Like Carmelita mentioned, my maternal grandmother, Louise Big Meat Maney, who was very involved with NAIWA, and I remember her going to all the NAIWA meetings, and I remember her being an advocate, and she was an educator. And then on my dad's side, my grandma Amanda Swimmer, same thing. She was an advocate. She was down at council telling them what's what every month, all the way up until she was, 97. And so seeing women in my family speak up and advocate and be leaders in their own way, I think that was something that I internalized without even realizing it, of the different ways that leadership can look and the different ways that women can be leaders in our communities. And so being able to follow in their footsteps, whether intentionally or unintentionally, has been a great joy for me, and an honor to even try to fill their shoes. That's something that I don't think that I'll ever be able to do, but it's something to aspire to. And so seeing all of the women here with NAIWA has always been a huge inspiration for me, just to be a strong Cherokee woman.
Shannon. Thank you all so much. I actually think that was the last question for this panel today. Thank you all so much for listening and taking the time.
They want to do one.
Oh, one more?
Oh, awesome. Okay. Not bad about that. All right. So our last question today then would be, and I'll start with Lavita, is what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh my gosh. My poor, broken younger self. Like, it's been survival mode my whole life. So, I guess I just want her to know that everything happens for a reason, good or bad. Good or bad. And most importantly, your family's got you, your friends got you, and God's got you. And that's what I really want to just live by, be a part of, and yeah, I feel like my younger self can actually start to smile and be happy from the inside. So, thank you.
Ooh, I'm emotional. So yeah, I think the best advice that I could give to my younger self would be just keep going. Everything, just like, you know, Lavita said, happens for a reason. And trust that Creator's opening those doors for you. And say yes, walk through them. Recognize that you are good enough and you can walk through those doors, and there's no locks, but you have to recognize when that door is open and just be willing and courageous to walk through them, and be thankful for that. Be thankful for those doors, whether it's hard ones, hard times, or good times even. Just say yes.
Okay, I know, I was getting emotional too, because I feel the same way. I mean, I think all of us up here, and probably most of us in this room, as Native women, have suffered some unimaginable traumas. And for us to still be here is a true testament to our resilience and our strength. And I saw this one meme that said, oh, you're so resilient. And it was like, well, yeah, it was either that or I was gonna die. So, I mean, that's sometimes the truth. It's morbid, but it's the truth. And it can be kind of funny because that's how we handle a lot of stuff, right, is with humor. But what I would like to tell my younger self, and through a lot of the therapy and work that I've had to do to move past my traumas, is you know, practicing talking to that younger self, that little girl who was abused, that little girl who felt like she didn't have anyone, even the young woman who was abused and felt like she didn't have anyone. So what I would like to tell her, and what I practice telling myself every morning, I got out my little planner because I have everything written down because I have to do it on a continual basis. But I would tell her, and same as I tell myself every morning, that I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm important, I matter, I make a difference, I'm capable, I'm divinely guided in all that I say and do. I love and accept myself just as I am. I only see through eyes of love and joy. I deserve to be healthy and happy. And that is something that I have to remind myself of every day, and will continue to do so.
Well, these ladies pretty much summed up a lot of things that we all have experienced. I think for myself, just for my younger self, I would tell her that it's okay to ask questions. it's okay to say no when you're not comfortable. It's okay to speak your mind and ask for help when you need it. I think that a lot of times we're taught to be quiet. We're taught to not make noise or not cause trouble, but that's what leaders do. Leaders speak up. Leaders ask questions. Leaders say, no, that's not gonna happen. This is the way it's gonna be. And I think as a younger self, a quiet, timid person who was in band and who didn't have a lot of friends, I would say, break out of that shell, because you're gonna make a difference when you grow up. We all are gonna make a difference when you grow up. So it's okay to be loud and happy and joyful and ask questions and speak your mind. So I think, the ladies here have really summarized a lot of what I was thinking, but also the other side of it is we are strong. You're strong, and it's okay to show that strength daily, every day. Thank you.
All right. So on behalf of everyone here today, I want to extend a sincere shki to each and every one of you for sharing your experiences, your perspectives, and your wisdom with all of us today. If we could get a round of applause for Venita Hill, Shennelle Feather, Venita Wolfe, and Shannon Smoller. Muffin Hill, yes. And Venita Wolfe, there we go. Yes. As a Cherokee woman, it has been especially meaningful to hear from each and one of you today. Your leadership reminds us that representation matters, our voices matter, and that the next generation of women has a strong example to look up to as we consider our own paths of service for our people. So thank you for the work that you do on behalf of our communities and your willingness to share stories and help shape the future of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. Shki, safe travels back to you guys' business committee meeting, and thank you all for all you do.